All right. Go ahead. You're on
Right.
video.
So Mike is gonna don the PPE, and when you're putting on PPE, it's not necessarily as important of the method you put it on as when you're removing, and I'll explain that as we go. Mike, you wanna grab your tie back out of there? Here's your tie back.
Those are gloves. Those would be gloves.
This is a tie back. So when you're putting it on, typically you want to put the tie back on first, just as an ease. I'm not gonna help you put it on.
Step into it.
Oh, I step into it? Yep, it's a full suit.
Does it have feet, or I don't know if that one has feet or not?
This one does not.
Do you keep your shoes on here?
You can, but we're gonna push in boots.
And it's easiest to have a partner to help you, because it's just not so easy sometimes. The other thing I'll say is if we're in one of these type of situations, a lot of times you don't want to draw a lot of attention to what's going on. Neighbors kind of curious anyway, they saw the ambulance and EMS. So we'll try not to do this on the front porch, if we can, we'll do it inside, keep it kind of low, off the radar a little bit. Otherwise, this is gonna draw attention like crazy, especially the way Mike's doing.
You didn't tell me I had to take my shoes off.
This is why we should train people how to do them. Now, it just kind of shows you it's not easy, even just getting it on is not easy.
Right, zip up and make sure your flap's covered.
And then close that flap.
So that's one step, a very small step to the process.
Something down there too. You want to close all that up to try to avoid, penetration.
There you go. Next, I typically will have my boots on, and you kind of want your boots to cover the remaining. Some Tyveks will have built-in boots, and we always wear heavier boots.
Push those down, push the, like into, push it into the boot, yeah.
For sticks.
There you go.
Next, we'll typically put our mask on. You can go ahead and put your.
The suits are good for your figure too, you can tell. We always get like, what do we get, like 4X or something like that?
I think 3 or 4X.
You get huge ones, and that's what everybody does, because you just don't want them really tight and all that. So this is a full-faced respirator. There are half-face, I think we'll have pictures of them, but this covers everything, eyes.
Kind of pull tight. Not too tight where it hurts you.
The problem with full, a lot of people don't like to wear the full face, because if you're claustrophobic, you're not gonna do well. It's the most protective, so if you're using a half face, oh no, that's a full face, I think.
Yeah.
If you're using a half face, then you have to have goggles on also. And the goggles, if you think about them, like the splash goggles, they have little holes for air so something can get in. This is fully enclosed. How you feeling there, buddy?
Pretty tight.
Yeah, it's pretty tight. It's hard to communicate. You want to talk about how to test one?
So then, when you have your respirator on, every time you put it on, you want to make sure you have a seal, because you don't want to go into that containment and not be protected, even though you think you are.
You'll know
So,
it. You'll know it.
put
It's
your
not
hands
tight.
over the holes there and blow. Now suck in. Is it pull into your face? So you don't have a great seal. You're
Yeah.
probably losing some around the edge.
Well, one thing I'll mention is, so to properly wear one of these masks, you can't have more than a day's growth. Otherwise you won't get a seal. So Mike has a pretty good beard going on. He may not get a seal.
There you go.
Is the
And then
seal in?
put it over the front here, where you blow out, and then try to blow, cover the bottom.
Blow. Blow. There you go. So when he covered this, he sucked in, and it sucked, did you see it suck in? So that tells you that's working. And then when he blew out,
Then when you cover the X part, obviously it's gonna force it off. That's so you can make sure your seal is complete around. Now, that's the real method, but what happens is if people go in there and they don't do that, they pretty much get right back out because they can tell their seal's not there.
There is we get tested every year. We have somebody that's certified to test proper usage of the respirators. And the way they test the seal right away, do you know what it is they use? But it's something it's like ammonia, but it's got horrible. They'll have you suck, they'll have you put that on yourself and all that, and then, hopefully you'll test it. And then they'll put that there and you suck it in. There's no way of hiding it. They're like, oh, so that's how we test it. And there's a couple other steps to it also. It's basically getting red there, Mike.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to breathe.
So, I mean, that's a perfect example. That's kind of why we wanted to use somebody who hadn't done it, before. It's just really difficult.
That way it's really hard to breathe. So we always wear 2 gloves. This is the protective layer, basically just that last layer of protection. And we're gonna actually put that over. And in most situations, we're actually taping these. That way there's no way that something's getting beyond these.
Is it often that you guys end up in full getup like this? I mean, is it rare, might happen a few times a year, or are you talking, there's a situation
It's
where
fairly often. Obviously, biohazard is the most in-depth. We want to take the most precautions, but we do universal precautions. So on a sewer job, we may not be decked to the 9 like this, but it's pretty close. And then the last set of gloves. This is more of the heavier duty. That way we're not getting penetrated as easily, and the other ones will break very easily.
2 sets of gloves?
Yeah. So most of the times that we would do wear the full garb is sewer backups and bloodborne. You can't mold. You can. You probably don't need the 2 gloves and all that. You probably don't need the boots, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
You probably still want to wear a tie that you don't have to.
You could wear a lighter grade Tyvek on some mold. It's still gonna help keep those spores from getting on your skin and on your clothes and track them around. And then we roll up these for the protection of the chemical. You said you wanted him to perform action.
Yeah, so you make it act like you're cutting or something like that, Mike, or just kind of so like I know a good thing. Tell everybody how it all feels. 'Cause I don't leave it down.
Very hard to talk, very hard to breathe.
How's your vision?
It's a little foggy.
Yeah, how about side to side?
Can't really see it on my peripherals.
You
Not
can't,
super heavy. but
yeah. It's hard to understand, so right, with 3 of us in there trying to communicate, it's hard to talk back and forth and understand. The more you talk, the more you fog up, so it just gets worse. It just goes from bad to worse.
that'd
and
be
then-
rough after a few hours.
Yeah,
especially if it's
exactly.
real
And
hot.
A few minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the full face is much more, that's the one I prefer, but, because it's the safest, but it's the most inclusive,
Yeah.
And one thing, so sometimes we'll put tape strip across there, what we might tape here, right?
Yeah, we'll typically tape the lower level to the Tyvek,
And then
which
down-
gets really difficult with removing.
You definitely need a partner down at the boots too, that way you're trying to keep things from falling through there.
Do you have the full clothes on underneath it all the time, even when it's super hot?
Yeah. Yep.
Nate likes to go commando, but
I mean, I'm not getting personal or anything, it just seems like it would help with the heat some, but I guess if that.
It would, but we just can't have our employees stripping
Right,
down on
right.
the insides.
Okay,
yeah, like I said, we're trying to be a little incognito, because, you know, always in this case, neighbors are super curious. They're going by, even if they don't know what happened. They're going by, they're, you know, kind of peeking in. So we're trying to, if we can, we're doing this inside that the house that we're cleaning up, a clean room. But think about it, you know, he had to take his shoes off, so you're kind of in bare feet in that house, you know, and stuff like that. It's super hard, super hot to work. Sometimes we'll use some power tools, like a cordless circular saw, and your vision is cut down so badly. That's why I say you almost kind of want to work in slow motion on these. And just do rethink everything, think things through, and do it kind of slowly. In the water loss, we're, you know, at it, cutting everything, but these you just go super slow.
It's probably hard to keep from getting contaminated when you take it off, isn't it?
Yeah,
So
you gotta talk
that's
about
that's the most important part with your protective stuff. So typically you have a buddy, because you're gonna be taped up and everything. So the first step with removing is actually removing your tie deck, because you have to assume that you have the most stuff on your tie deck. So you still wanna be as protected as possible. So you go ahead and try to remove your tie deck, and I will help, because if you're tough.
Yeah, you gotta find that little zipper.
So
You say
then-
have no dexterity with those rubber gloves. And you're trying not, while you're doing that, you're trying not to touch any of your clothes, because
Yeah.
you know it's on your hands.
You wanna make sure that your gloves, you're not actually touching yourself. You wanna keep it all on the tie deck. So then you're kinda, as you're taking it off, rolling it down into itself.
Trying to keep the boots on.
You can go ahead and take the boots off.
So your black gloves
Keep-
would have come
keep
off
rolling
first.
those tie back in.
And if you see a couple things, like, so he just grabbed, it's natural, but he just grabbed his knee to help himself, right? So you gotta assume his gloves are soaked, now he's contaminated his clothes.
Yeah, normally
So-
you would take your black gloves off first, right?
Well, the idea is you wanna roll your tie back out, cause that's gonna be your worst thing. You wanna get that off. And then I'll typically take my gloves off, so that when I'm going for the top layer, so that when I'm going for my face mask, I'm hopefully have clean. Take your mask off.
Right,
So
right.
take your dark gloves off.
Oh, I see.
And that's exactly, you always wanna roll it in, that way all the contaminants are inside there. Then get, go ahead and take your mask off.
Can I just keep this on the rest of the day?
Are you sweaty?
I'm sweaty.
And then from there, so you can set your mask down, and you wanna always roll your gloves in. Yeah. That's another reason to have that second set of gloves, so that it's a little safer when you're taking everything off. You know, and obviously you do have help when doing this, so he hopefully wouldn't have gotten so much contamination.
So if you, not to pick on Mike, but if you saw a couple times, when he took his mask off, he touched his face, and that's natural kind of stuff. You know, I kind of, when I'm in that, I just kind of act like my hands, like, are contaminated, or they're on fire or something like that, just to remind me not to, because that's your natural, you know, you wanna rub your eye or pull on your ear. Your ears and your eyes, and your nose or your mouth is where you know, can intake some of that stuff. And then all that stuff would go, assuming it's blood soaked, go right into that can.
Aside from the mask.
Yes, this stuff we would, put aside, and then we would clean with one of these EPA approved, disinfectants. Any questions? So that kind of shows you, I like using Mike because he hasn't done it before, kind of shows you